Why can't your middle schooler just do her homework? Well, that's the question we're talking about today on Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I specialize in helping kids, teens, and families live happier lives. I lead two organizations, Teen Therapy Center and the nonprofit 501c3 organization, Child and Teen Counseling, both here in Woodland Hills, California. Every Wednesday at noon, I jump onto Facebook Live to answer your parenting questions. Let's answer today's. My daughter is in 8th grade, and she just never seems to be able to get her homework or assignments done. If I'm not persistently nagging her, she just doesn't do anything. Homework takes her forever, and she just doesn't always finish. My sense is that she finds her classes boring and doesn't pay attention, which makes the homework all that much harder. I feel like she should be able to organize herself and work on her own by now. Any suggestions? Yes, thank you for your question. The first thing I want to figure out is what's going on. Have you talked to her teachers? Do her teachers have a similar experience, or do they have a much different experience? Is in class, is she engaged, but the homework she's not engaging in? Or is she so not engaged in class, she's a disruption, or she's just staring at the ceiling? You know, these things can kind of guide you towards, hey, maybe your daughter needs to see an educational therapist who can assess for any learning challenges, or go through a whole psychological and educational battery of tests from a psychologist, determine if there are any attention issues, are there possibly any processing issues, visual processing, audio processing that may interfere with her ability to learn and stay focused. So I don't want to rule all those things out. If you can rule those things out, then you may be right, she may just be bored. But to counter that, what I'd wanted to make sure is, does she have anything valuable in her life that really fulfills her, whether it be soccer or scouts or choir or theater? It doesn't really matter what it is, as long as she finds fulfillment in it and she finds that she gets value out of it. Because we want to give her a sense of mastery and autonomy and purpose in her life. And maybe if she had, let's say, tennis or whatever the activity is, where she felt good about that, that can sometimes spill over into the boring school stuff. Another thing is, you may want to make sure you have a real structured routine with homework, where it's always at a certain time, it's always at a certain place, maybe not in her room, maybe her room is too distracting because it's too isolated, maybe at the kitchen table, maybe listening to music. I know a lot of kids focus better when they have music on because the silence is deafening, or just the other sounds of the house of, you know, little sister and brother playing in the background, or you cooking dinner, that's too distracting. But if she has her earbuds in and she's listening to music, maybe that helps her focus. Now, if you do that, you have to come to agreement that she has one playlist and she plays and goes. She doesn't have to go through and pick a song every time. Another concern I have is, how much screen use is she having? Not music, that's more audio, but like screen use. Social media, video games, videos. I want to limit that, especially before video game use. And maybe use that as a carrot for after her homework is done. Let's see, what else? Make sure she's getting enough exercise. I have a lot of clients who, after they get home from school, they go jump on the trampoline, they shoot hoops, they go ride a bike, they dance, they get that physical energy out, because sitting in school all day can be really stifling, and it's hard to focus when you're emotionally you're pent up like that. So finding a physical outlet, a regular physical outlet, maybe before homework. What else do I want to say about this? It's a complicated issue, and everyone's going to handle it differently. So make sure you're getting support from professionals if needed. Make sure there's some routine. Excuse me. And also make sure that she's still feeling accepted by you. Every interaction between the two of you is, you're angry because she's not doing her homework, she could start interpreting that as that's her vision of herself, and we don't want that. We want to make sure there's balance and there's some positivity and affection and unconditional love. Also, you don't have to be a perfectionist with homework. We all want our kids to excel and do well, but let's manage expectations and let's go step by step. Let's not go from where she is now to straight A in one leap. Let's take little steps here by here. So by the time she's in high school, maybe she's her developing mind, which is still developing. Let's say she's 13, 8th grade. She has a developing prefrontal cortex, which means her impulse control is higher, her emotional regulation is not as good, her ability to see cause and effect is not firing on all cylinders like it would be for an adult, and that doesn't really pay off until about 25 years old. So throughout high school and even in college, that executive area of functioning of the brain is not fully formed yet. So we have to have some patience. She will catch up. The important thing is to guide her towards things that she has a passion for, and then the math class or the English class or the history class that is boring now has meaning to her because it helps propel her to the next step of what she wants to do, whether it's vocational school, college, whatever that may be. Anyways, it's a big topic. Thank you for your question. If you want to meet Ken Toussaint at Teen Therapy Center, answer your parenting question here on Tips on Teens every Wednesday at noon, email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com, or you can direct messages right here on Facebook. We love your questions. Thank you so much. Happy Yom Kippur, everyone, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.